told you in the last video that I was gonna back tape, that's what we call this, I back tape this fender. Now I'm gonna hang a piece of paper down around there to seal all this up. Again, to keep debris from blowing out. Ordinarily I'll put plastic over these whole tires, but as you can see, these tires are used just for the building process and they've got paint all over them anyway. They will be partially covered up, but I'm not worried about paint getting on these wheels. I just don't want paint getting in there. And more importantly, you've heard me say it, sound like a broken record, I don't want debris coming out of here and ending up in the paint job. Okay, I had a slight change of plans. Normally, I pull this paper on the outside of the tire like I spoke about earlier, but this tire protrudes out past the side of the car. Again, this tire is only on there for the building process and so we can move it around. So I had to put a plastic cover over the tire. Again, it's not so much about keeping paint off of the tire. In this case, it's absolutely not about keeping the paint off the tire. It's about keeping any of this debris, trash that may be in there, or any of this old paint from flaking up into there. So I've got the wheel well all taped up, and I'm gonna move on to the back. The back tire is sitting inside the wheel well. I'll probably be able to just drop the paper down on that one. Okay. This thing's all taped up, masked off. Now I'm getting ready to spend probably half an hour or so wiping this thing down with a water-based cleaner to get rid of, see all those fingerprints and the oily fingerprints and stuff like that. And I'll be hitting, there's a couple little spots from people's sweaty hands causing a little surface rust. I'll knock all that off. I'm gonna do a really good job. Preparation is the key. They say, you know, preparation is 90% and 10% is the paint job. Well, preparation is probably 95% really when it comes down to it. Like I said, I'm gonna end up sealing this thing a medium gray just because whoever sanded this car, or whoever did the body work and sanded it, they did a fine job. There's nothing wrong with it, but I'm not 100% sure what grit they sanded and everything. Plus, if I seal it, the sealer is going to act as a color unifier so that everything you see, I got light primer, light gray here, dark gray, and all these different shades, it'll all be one color, and the color will cover better. But and it act as a chemical bond. And since if this happened to be sanded with, like, say 320, the 320 scratches will be taken care of with the sealer. And if I were to just shoot base over it and they were 320 grit scratches, it may cause a problem. So I'm gonna turn this off because watching me wipe this thing down is kind of like watching paint dry. All right, guys, I've run into a situation that is. Wiping this thing down, now if you listen, I've wiped the whole deck lid down. Basically the whole car is wiped down except for the driver's door here. If you listen, as I rub this top of this quarter panel, you hear how smooth that is. I mean, you can hear it rubbing it, but you can now listen to this. I hope you can hear the difference. Hear that? And then what this is, educated guess, when whoever did the work on this car, they primed these spots here. That is primer overspray. Now it looks like it's sanded, but when I wiped it down, it is. Can you hear my fingernails catching on that? A little bump. Hear the difference? Yeah, you can't paint over that, guys. This is where preparation is so important. So now I'm going to take a piece of 320 grit sandpaper and I'm going to lightly sand over this deck lid and then wipe it down again. It's just one of those things. Okay, my apologies for accusing the guy of not sanding his primer overspray off. As soon as I started sanding it, I realized what it was. It was the white overspray from where he cut the jams in. When I say cut the jams in, that's when you paint the inside of the parts that you're putting on. Remember in the other video, I showed you how inside of these jams and inside the trunk and in the hood was all painted white. Well, it was the overspray. Apparently he had the quarter panels masked up Well, I don't know how it got there, but that's not important. That's what it was. So now you can hear how it's smooth. So, and all that crazy sound is going. So, got it sanded. I've just about got her all wiped down, basically just down to that door. And then right before I paint it, I'll wipe it down with a solvent-based cleaner, a pre-paint cleaner, and then we're going to shoot a coat of sealer on it. All right, I apologize for the noise. I got the booth running. What I'm getting ready to do now, I'm going to go around and blow all the cracks out, and you got to do this with the booth running so that any debris that I blow out gets sucked down through the filters and won't end up sticking to the walls. So I'm going to go around and blow all the seams out. This particular area here has the potential to be a pretty big problem because there's really no way to get in there underneath of it. And I'm going to blow it out really good, but the potential is there for it to blow a bunch of trash out of there. But I'll turn the camera back on in a minute. Okay, I have blown everything off. Now I'm going to tack it down. We call it tacking it down. This is a tack cloth. This thing is sticky, and it picks up any little pieces of lint or sand, imperfections off the paint. Now, this particular tack rag doesn't look like the normal cheesecloth style tack rag, but I've got hundreds of these things. So until they're all gone, I'm going to keep using them. They work just fine. They just don't look like your typical tack rag. All right, guys, the car is wiped down, tacked off. I'm getting ready to go in there and shoot a coat of kind of a neutral gray sealer. It's a little on the dark side of medium. That's going to give good color uniformity for both colors, the white and the orange. I'm the only one in here, so I'm not going to be able to film this, but it's kind of boring to watch painting anyway. You can go back through some of the old videos and see me and other students painting. All right, I got it sealed, so now it's all one color. Again, I feel like I need to remind you that we didn't do any of the body work or even the sanding on this thing. It was all done by someone else. There's nothing bad, but that's kind of what you run into when you're painting over top of somebody. But this is a race car. It's going to look really nice when it's all done. I'll be back in here in a minute with some explanations on what's going to take place next. Guys, I just walked out of the booth after saying I'll come right back to you in a minute. I've decided to keep this video as short as possible. I'm going to do some editing and put this on. Hopefully I'll get it on tonight on YouTube. But I'm going to pick back up with putting paint on the car, and I'm going to start with that little spot on the black, but I'll put that in another video. Again, in an effort to keep these videos short. I mean, I didn't realize that other one ended up being like 23 minutes. It takes a lot of work to make them, and I'm trying to keep them short because you lose interest in watching one. I get it, because I like to watch YouTube videos myself. So you guys have a great day. Again, put any questions in the comment section if you want. I really want to hear from you. Let me know what you think, or any ideas about stuff you're wanting to do this year maybe, and we'll see what we can do. Thanks, guys. Have a good day.